Heavy is the head that has to manage all of this.
Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel.
We're now incentivized to buy what we already buy.
Fumbling through college had me building.
I also got some done on the other side.
And that was right around, I would say, May, maybe, right before renewing the lease for this property.
Welcome to the channel, Martha.
Thank you for having me here.
Oh, I was going to say, I am getting up there in age, I'll tell you what.
Bills paid by other people, life was never this good. I had to step back, knowing that it's...
Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. So today I'm going to talk about what financial freedom has actually done for me. Because a lot of the times people just think that once you make a lot of money, your life is going to change forever and everything is going to be rosy and good. But to be honest with you, a lot of the times you don't necessarily feel the impacts. There's levels to financial freedom. And a lot of people who are making a lot of money are not very lavish with their lifestyles, right? I am very conservative. I'm not going to spend money today. I'm not a tightwad. I've learned to loosen up a little bit, but there has definitely been seasons in my life where I just said, you know what, I'm not spending on that. I'm not spending on this. And it feels good to have the money to do it than to not have the money and then be wanting these things. And so it always just felt better to say no right now, knowing that I can always get it anytime I want. And when it's more of a convenient thing for me, where I cannot just say no to the suggestion, right, and go for that thing. But money hasn't done much. I mean, in terms of relationships or dating, sure, you can go out more, you can date more, you can live within the world a little bit more. You can be outside, but you can do the same things without money, right? You can go to parks, you can go walking trails, you can ride your bike, you can go to your favorite coffee shop. Me personally, I don't drink coffee. And so, you know, what other things can you do to meet people, enjoy life, and do the things that, you know, most young people would do? But for the most part, my life has been consistent. Been absolutely consistent. The only thing that changes is the numbers. The numbers go up, but ultimately it wears off. That effect of, you know, need for anything wears off. But what I will say is that I don't need for as much as I once did. I remember when I first looked at this home, I had just came back from the military. I was walking through this house, and again, just like I said before, I was impressed with the den area. I was impressed with the basement, but the house overall, I wasn't too impressed with. And I sat down in the corner of my living room where I now have my big blue couch. And I was just thinking, am I going to move forward with this property? I only looked at 2 or 3 houses. Am I going to move forward with this one? And I just said, you know what? Let's do it. I was sitting down there and I just said, let's do it. It was completely different from the property that I had. Although it was both 3-bed, 1.5 bath, the property I had bought prior had all new finishings, brand new rehab property, has 2 levels. It just felt bigger, felt better, felt nicer, felt newer. But it didn't have a garage. It didn't have the neighborhood in which I live in today. And so when I moved here, I had a 1-car garage. I had great neighbors that welcomed me on arrival. And, you know, I had a backyard patio that I can open up and do other things with. And so, you know, when I'm sitting there, I'm like, I need a place of my own. I don't want to rent. What am I going to do? And I absolutely just pulled the trigger on it. Once I got the place, it wasn't excitement that I felt. It wasn't, you know, like joy of accomplishing a goal. Even when I bought my first home, I wasn't too excited. It was just like, finally, this is mine. I stepped in there. I felt like a weight lifted off of me to some degree, but a new weight that came on me, like I got to pay this thing off. I got to be able to do more, right? And so it wasn't stressful because it was actually less monthly than what I was paying in rent. But it was also like, oh, okay, we're here now. we've accomplished what we set to do. And so, my goal has always been to level up my life, acquire at least 5 properties. But those are just ambitions that nobody except you is going to care about, right? If you have a goal of, oh, I want to buy a house by the time I'm 35, or I want to buy a house by the time I'm 40, or I want $1 million in my 401k by the time I'm 55, whatever your goal and aspiration is, people will listen and people will say, oh yeah, that's nice. That's good. But it's only you that needs to desire that as much as you do, because nobody else is going to desire for you to get there as much as you. Sure, you'll have family members, maybe people that you're in a relationship with that will egg you on and cheer you on. But ultimately, it's up to you, because nobody is going to spend all of that with you, right? And so, as I navigated life, I started to realize more and more that you can't do these things for everybody else. You have to do these things for yourself. You have to want these things for yourself. But these are just things. But ultimately, a house, I'm not going to just say it's a thing. Whether it's a liability or not, it is also a place of comfort, also a place where you can rest your head and clear yourself from the rest of the world. Also a place where you can go home and truly feel at peace. Also a place where you can just say, you know what, I'm going to exit out from everyone else. Now, granted, as a young single man, I can do those things. But when you have children, when you have a wife, when you have whatever your significant other is in the house, you now have to start to attend to more and more people. Do you want to do that with a mortgage over your head, or rent payments, or debt, student loans, and credit cards? Probably not. You probably want a life to where at least the financial burden is removed. And so when I think about what life I want for myself and how much stress comes with what I want tangibly, I have to start looking at how can I start to alleviate some of that tension? How can I start to alleviate some of the stress that I would have applied to myself? And so, for the most part, there's always going to be stress at work, with relationships, with the people you love, family members. But there are certain things that I can do at any time because of where I'm at in life. I can remove myself from any family situation. I can remove myself from any relationship situation. I can remove myself from any job situation. Why? Because I'm in a place to where I don't necessarily need for that. Now, the finance part is nothing to do with family. But again, when you don't have to live with your family, you can now dictate what is in your life and what is not. And for the most part, I have a great family, and so that's just an example. But with work, it feels good to say, you know what, I'm not going to do that. I'm moving on. I'm transitioning. Because this is not mentally stimulating for me. This is not mentally where I want to be. This is not conducive to what I want with my life. And I'm going to be okay. When I go to work, I want to be happy. When I leave work, I want to be happy. When I come home, I want to be happy. When I'm investing, I want to be happy. When I'm with my friends, I want to be happy. When I'm with my family, I want to be happy. When you are stable, you show that you are responsible. You show that you are reliable, because there's no way that you get stability without being reliable in more ways than one. It's not just showing up to work every single day, but it's also investing consistently. It's also studying and learning more about business and finance and gaining understanding. That reliability is also going to reward you in relationships, in family matters, and everything that has to do with your life. When people talk about me, they say he's hardworking. He's reliable. He'll always be there. He's a producer. He produces. He does not stop. And you know what? There's a lot of people who are hardworking, but don't have the information needed to prosper in the same ways or even better than I have. There's a lot of people who work to the bone every single day from foreign countries or from right here in America. But they don't know what exactly they need to do in order to raise that standard, in order to raise that level. And so, financial freedom for me is a blessing. It's better to have than to not have. As you get used to being financially independent and your financial freedom, maybe you even start to take certain things for granted. Like the fact that I don't have to worry about a bill in my life. Or I don't have to worry about what car I'm driving. Or I don't have to worry about what I'm eating for dinner. Or if anyone else has eaten in my family. If you want to take a trip, okay, here you go. If you want to do this, okay, here you go. The fact that I don't have to worry about these things in itself is a blessing. And sometimes it can be taken for granted when you're just going throughout life, same old, and investing and investing and investing. But you realize that even though you aren't using that money for frivolous things, it is accumulating and growing within your benefit and for your benefit. So, I like to keep it real. I like to keep it honest. I like to be truthful. And a lot of the times people will just shout to the mountaintops, oh, if you do this and you become financially free, you're going to have the best life. I have never seen someone who is financially free stop working and stop wanting more for themselves. There's just something in most people that they're going to want more out of life. They're going to go after it. They're going to pursue more out of life. And so nobody is subscribed to my channel to not pursue more out of life. Right? And so if you like this video, make sure you leave a like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. You know I post every single day at 8 a.m. daily on YouTube, Rumble, and Spotify for podcasters. And I can't wait to see you on the next one. Peace.